Hi, everybody. It's Stacy Sobel with Salon today and the Data Driven Salon Summit. And I am here with Tim Fisk, who is the owner of Paradise Salon in Northampton, Massachusetts, and the Director of Brand Development for Summit Salons. And you're going to be joining us at Data Driven in Denver, May 5th is your session. And you're going to be talking about the latest AI tools and how you envision salons employing those. So what exactly are you going to be divulging at that?
Yeah, first of all, I'm so excited to be there and I'm really looking forward to this session. And I think just in our industry, but more in the world, everybody's talking about AI. Like you just can't get away from it, right? Whether
Right.
it's going to replace us or it's going to destroy us or it's going to help us, right? Or everybody kind of has an opinion around AI, and I love that it's such a front of mind topic of conversation. But really, what I would love to do is
And
put
it
it into
partners beautifully with a data-driven salon summit, right?
100%, right? Right. So like data is really what AI is built on, is data, right? And we're, I think as salon companies, we do gather a lot of data on our guests. We don't do a lot with that data, which is, I think, a great opportunity for us going forward. But when it comes to AI, I know that everybody is feeling like they have to jump on this and jump on that. I really want to put it into perspective. At the end of the day, we're all small business owners and we have a lot going on with our day-to-day operations. And I think that there's a real measured way that we can approach AI so that we're not grasping at straws while this very new thing is developing, right? Because what we maybe discover and start plugging into today won't even be relevant in 6 months.
Right. So in your own salon, what have you played with?
So in our own salon, we use, I think, mostly in writing and creating
Mhm.
content. So, engagement is, I still think, king when it comes to marketing. And this is what we teach at Summit as well. Digital engagement in particular. This is the way that we mostly engage with our guests. We obviously do when they're in the chair or they're in the treatment room, but we have this great opportunity now in the digital landscape to continue to engage with guests, deepen the relationship between the brand and the guest. And we're using AI to help us create content. So ChatGPT is my best friend. In fact, and I'll say this too when I'm there, I don't even open Google anymore. I just open ChatGPT and I do all of my searches through ChatGPT. And I think that that's one really easy way for you to start familiarizing yourself with AI and kind of take some of the fear out of it. If you do have some fear or you think you're not techie enough to use AI, it's really fun sometimes to play around and see what you get from ChatGPT.
Now, as someone who is a content creator, I see it more as a tool sometimes to get me started than an actual replacement for what I think I do.
Yes.
So, and I think that one obvious way to do this is like blogs. If you do blogs on your website to get you started on a topic,
Yeah.
it can just help you kind of think through what you might want to address, but then you want to shape it to your own saloning experience.
This is it. You're hitting the nail on the head. I mean, I fancy myself a writer too, but I get stuck when I have to write something, right? I was the one in college that was writing the paper the night before, right? It was due. It does help you with ideas and get kind of ideas started. Here's the thing with digital engagement. Everybody's so attuned to the digital landscape now and content that is created, and they have such a critical eye of content that authenticity is really the primary filter for people in whether or not they're going to respond to whatever content you're putting out there as
Right.
a brand. So authenticity is never going to happen with AI. It's going to happen with the actual individual, the person that's creating that content, that's familiar with the brand, that maybe is the brand if you're the owner, or if you're doing it for yourself as a stylist and creating captions. So it's only a jumping off point, I think, and it just kind of helps break through. Another thing that you can do is you can actually ask ChatGPT for tips on strategy. So it can actually give you some really great blogging tips. It can look up like what keywords are really hot right now and give you blog ideas around that. So it's not just in creating the content too, it's also strategizing on what kind of content to create.
And that we know we always like to do blogs that are like 5 steps to do execute communication or whatever. Sometimes that's you can actually put that into Chat GPT and it'll give you like bullet points, but you have to
100%.
fill it in. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
love that. I used
um
ChatGPT the other day, actually. I've gotten into these inbound kind of marketing things. So, like, take a quiz and take a skincare quiz. So, I developed skincare quiz for a med spa that I was working with. And what ChatGPT did for me is it actually created all of the questions and the logic that I needed to actually direct the quiz to 4 particular skin types that somebody was going to go to. So, it very quickly did it instead of me having to think of that logic and how I would point somebody to their regimen, it did it for me. So that's another great way to use it.
that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So for someone who hasn't explored Chat GPT, how easy is it to navigate when you go
It's
on?
pretty easy. I mean, it like in a lot of ways, it's like Google. There's just a bar where you ask a question. And I always say please and thank you, just in case AI takes over the world someday. I want them to know that I was a nice person. But yeah, you're just really talking to it in your regular voice.
So when it takes over, Tim Fisk is on the nice list, not the naughty list.
I'm always going to want to be on the nice list.
List.
That's my goal in life. But yeah, you can just open it up. It's like Open AI. You can just search Chat GPT. There are 2 versions of Chat GPT. There is a 4.0, which is the latest version. I believe that is a paid version. I do pay for it. It's a nominal fee for the year, like $100 or something. And then it does come with a lot of other features, including image creation through Wally. And I actually used it to create an image. I wasn't using the image. It wasn't something that I was going to put on a front facing. It was more for a presentation that I was making for an internal conversation. But funny enough, actually, ChatGPT asked me if I wanted them to generate the image. I wasn't even thinking to ask them, and they asked me. I call them they now. I don't know
Yeah.
what to call them, but ChatGPT asked me if I wanted something. So it's
So
really getting
we
better and better.
at Salon Today, Modern Salon, we played with the images for a while, but we never actually used them because our companies come down hard on not using those images and protecting the rights of photographers. So
Yeah.
uh you also kind of need to, I mean, I think as we're embracing these new tools, you also have to kind of navigate some of the legislation that's starting to develop around them. And
Yeah, 100%. And in addition to images, I mean, you can also think outside the box. Like, it can help you produce icons or even like get you started on how to look for certain types of visuals that you might want to have. I know that sometimes when we're doing web design or whatever, we might want to find icons that stand for different things, and it can give you some ideas around that as well. And I don't know if you've ever looked for icons, but there's like just vast libraries of different icons, and it can make your eyes crossed. So for any designer out there, you can get some really great ideas from ChatGPT on icons.
well, Tim, we really look forward to your session. Can't wait for Data Driven. I recently was with you in Cancun at the Summit Unplugged, and you had a fabulous presentation. So I know you're going to deliver for
Oh,
us.
we're going to have a lot of fun, and I can't wait. Denver, here we come.
Here we come. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.